It's really my honor to be here today. So thank you, Jose Maria, for the invitation. And I will try to address within the next 20 minutes a very key question here. Are we prepared to face the cost of pharma R&D? And I have bad news for you. It's very clear that we are not. And if we look at the US and we compare the evolution of GDP versus the evolution of healthcare cost, we can see how in 70 years, basically in every GDP, so 99% of GDP will need to be devoted just to healthcare. So it's clearly that this is unsustainable in the path it has currently. When we look at Europe, the situation is slightly better, but just slightly, because demographics doesn't help Europe very much. Just to share with you some numbers that probably you are very aware. In 2050, Europe will have 40% of their citizens over 60. And I guess that we all know that during our life, the expenditure in healthcare, 80% of it comes after 60. So the combination of these two factors make the situation quite unsustainable, right? It's a fact that the pharma industry is investing more than any other industry on earth, and this tendency has been consistent for many years. And all of you are very familiarized with this kind of graphs in which we show how our productivity is decreasing. And we are investing in a kind of exponential years, exponential terms for a number of years. It happened. Now we are a little bit more flattened because we cannot continue with that exponential trend. However, when you look at the number of new medical entities, is quite flat. And this happens all over the world. Wherever you look at, in any geographical area, you find very much the same consistent productivity. I think that we all agree that R&D is changing currently, and we have many experts around the table, so I don't need to take you the new role that biomakers or experimental medicine or combination in therapy or going with vaccines, not only through prevention but also through treatment, even the technology and the opportunities that we find there, all of this is evolving. The thing is, it doesn't evolve fast enough. And so I will like to share with you what we think is reshaping our industry, and some points were covered by Jose Maria previously. So it's a fact that we know more about diseases. And it's also a fact that the more we know, the easier it is to see the number of unmet needs that we have to face. So it's a little bit like Socrates' phrase, right? I only know that I know nothing. And the cost is increasing, and is increasing, as we have seen before, in a very fast way and in an unsustainable way. And we think the fourth factor is quite key, and is that the expectations are changing. And these expectations are changing from any stakeholder in the healthcare arena. So from physicians to patients to regulators to administrators to payers. And so we want more and more medicines that are safer, that are more efficiently, that we can pay. And that is not possible in the way we do things now. Public health agenda is another shaping or reshaping factor for industry. It's very clear, I guess, all around the world that in the health agenda there are much more than health. there are a lot of political influence, there are a lot of economical influence. And finally, I mean, through the difficult circumstances, economic circumstances that we are going all around the world, venture capital cycle is completely disrupted now. So with these 6 elements, how do we see our imperatives as a pharma industry? We believe it's a must to develop medicines that are transformative, that really address unmet needs, and that are reimbursable. We need to eliminate part of the risk in our development process, otherwise we will never want to invest on us. We need to make good decisions earlier. When you look at the statistics, 1 out of 3 drugs fails beyond phase 3. And by then, in an R&D investment, you have already spent 70% of the total spent for the drug. So it's a lot of waste there that we need to manage. So our decision-making process should be improved if we really want to make this profitable. And we need to reduce the time on development. And Jose Maria said something very, very important. It's a lot about the time between phases. Close to 30% of the time in the total development process is just waiting from phase to phase. So we think that there are some imperatives that we can operate and affect on. And I would like to share next with you what we are doing from my company. And first, I must keep the level of expectation low, because unfortunately we don't have the secret here. But I'm happy to tell you what we are doing. I see in the screen that some figures are moving from column to column. It's irrelevant. We have 4 strategic imperatives that have very much transformed the way we were looking at R&D in Pfizer. And to be honest, I don't think we are an exception. So what I'm going to share with you here are strategies and ways in which big pharma are trying to face the challenging situation we have in front of us. So one is to look for unmet needs. Second is precision medicine. Third area we are looking at is scientific innovation, wherever it is. And linked to this is the fourth, and mainly the most differential way versus the past that we are using in developing medicines, that is a very deep strategic externalization. So I will go further through these 4 imperatives, if you allow me. Regarding first, this is interesting. Pfizer pipeline was devoted to 16 different therapeutic areas just 5 years ago. So we have very much reviewed this to see where the needs are, and there are a long number of programs that have been either sold or just eliminated, to the point that 5 years ago we were running close to 170 different programs, and now we are below 100. And as I said, we are very much looking at very specific areas, and we are not alone in any of them. For example, Alzheimer's disease. I took this as an example because everyone, of course, wants to find the first modifier to this disease. And it's a very crowded pipeline what the industry has in that kind of disease. And on the bottom of the slide, you see the number of components and companies that are trying to find the right solution here. And on the upper part, you find the different technologies that we are looking at. So it's quite a complexity here. And unfortunately, we have bad news after bad news. Last one was this summer, probably some of you are aware of this. One of the most promising drugs here, which was bapineuzumab affecting the amyloid plaques in the brains, discontinuing the development after going through 12 years of development and finishing phase 3. So these kind of things happen when you are trying to develop products in very unknown areas, right? The consequence of that is also that the bapineuzumab is one of the orange balls there, right? So all the other orange balls that you see in the slide are now reviewing their own development, and maybe they don't make any sense any longer, right? So fails of one affects quite a lot of the others. The other thing that I was talking about is precision medicine as a way that we think is essential to link disease understanding with clinical outcomes. And I would like to share some examples with you. And we have a number of components now in phase 2, 3, and even in registration regarding precision medicine. And let me pick one of them. I will take crizotinib. And crizotinib is a product that is designed to attack the non-small cell lung cancer for a very particular patient that has an alkaline positive mark. And just to put things in perspective, and just talking about Spain, we have, let's say, 150,000 cancer patients in this country. We have 20,000 patients in this country with lung cancer. We have 450 patients in this country for this particular case of lung cancer. Those patients had a life expectation of 2 months with previous therapies. Now, and trials are still ongoing, they are living longer than 2 years. And probably 3 years or 4, we still don't know. So it's a fact that there is a lot of future about R&D in precision medicine. The thing is, who is going to pay for this? And how can you price a product that you have to sell just for 500 patients in Spain or 5,000 patients in Europe, right? So it's a question that is still to be addressed regarding precision medicine. I will not go further through these kind of capabilities because, I mean, there are so many experts around the table. You know about this much more than I do. But it's a fact that what we consider a very sophisticated and cutting-edge technology just 3, 4, 5 years ago when we worked with antibodies and with therapeutic proteins and so on, is a little bit the past now. And we are more and more looking at new technologies to address this. And we believe that part of the answers for better productivity in R&D comes from this kind of technology, right? From being able to make combinatorial antibodies or to be able to target 2 or more antigens simultaneously. I mean, that kind of things are very much part of our efforts nowadays. And finally, and probably this is the biggest change that we are doing is regarding this concept of innovation is global. So we are going to look for the talent beyond Pfizer walls. And we are following this as other companies, much more in the US than in other areas of the world. So the kind of connection between academics and startups and biotechs and big pharma in the US is bigger and robust than in other areas of the world. And we really believe on this kind of R&D ecosystem for the future. We think that the combination of pharma and academia in a very good and respectful relation will help investors to find our science attractive again, and to also to invest on us with less risk. And we are very active on that arena nowadays. We are working on what we internally call Centers for Therapeutic Innovation, our CTIs. So what we are trying to do here is quite different from what we did before. Big Pharma had the tendency years ago to go to the academic or to the small biotech, and when you wanted something, you buy it. And when you buy it, you destroy it. And this is a different way to approach now this matter. So we don't buy anything. We just help. So when we find a group of people doing something special, something relevant, something that we think can be of further use in medicine, we help them. We allow them to use our library. We help them with our abilities to maximize intellectual property. We help them to publish. We incentivize in financial terms, but we don't buy them. So they are still what they are, and they keep the essence of that talent with them. So we have, through this concept, created in the US 3 clusters in 3 different geographical locations. We have one in California, we have one in Boston, another one in New York, and we have 90 centers already covered with these 3 different geographic technological clusters. So very much in summary, we think we need to change the strategy in a very radical way. We think, and we are changing shape, changing our focus as well, and mainly we are very much externalizing and virtualizing. We are seeking innovation, we are seeking for talent wherever it is. We partner there and we share risk. And I want to leave you with this thought that I read a little bit ago from a Harvard Business Review. So I don't think it's anymore about evolution. It's about revolution. It's about disruption. And I'm sure during this day and a half, we will talk about disruption and hear a number of disruptive thoughts from all of you. I would like to leave you with mine, very modest mine, and talking about the industry model that we are going through, particularly in R&D. There are industries that are beyond us, and the motion picture industry is one example. So years ago, you could go to watch a movie and you found a Paramount thing, period. And today you don't find that anymore, nowhere. You find Time Warner produced by someone in association with someone else and someone else and someone else, a lot of credits there, right? And so I bet, that's my bet for you, that next time Pfizer will have a revolutionary drug, it will never be just ours. I'm sure it will be a Pfizer pharmaceutical component in association with another pharma, discovered together with a national institute or whatever it is. So it's very much about connectivity, it's very much about synergies. And I just want to thank you very much for all the attention and wish you a very interesting and productive meeting. Thanks.